Hello, and today we're going to improve upon this Minecraft game we created. So what we're going to do today is add trees and a kind of player to the game. So to start off, let's add trees. To do this, just go to your generation script and add a new kind of... We're going to add a new part of the script and just if pick random 5 to, let's say, 15 is equal to 6, we're going to switch to a new costume that we've just made. We're going to create a costume for leaves, which is just going to be basically a costume which is, well, with gaps in, because that's kind of what leaves look like in Minecraft. Okay, now that's done. Create a costume for wood. Just a brown kind of costume. That's done. So now we're going to create the tree. Well, actually, I'm just going to make it look a bit more, well, make it look a little nicer than this. Okay, so yeah, just making it a little more pleasant to look at. Okay, that'll do. So now we're just going to switch costume to the wood costume, which is costume 10, as you can see here. We'll then repeat twice to make 2 wood blocks appear. And now we're going to switch to costume 10 and then switch to costume 1, which is the leaf costume, and it's going to place a log and then place a leaf on it, so it's going to look like a log and a leaf block. Now just put that back in the script. And I think that's messed up quite badly. Okay, that should fix it. As you can see, that's kind of glitchy, but kind of working. So instead of adding a complete, put an else block into this, and it should make it look a bit nicer. And make sure you keep this change x by 24 outside of that. That's working. So now we're going to change x by 24 here twice and set y, well, actually change y by minus 48 to make it so you can remove the effect of this repeat that we just added, and add this instead, and then change y by 24 and just repeat that all together 2 times. And do the same thing again, but again change y by minus 48, and then instead of going by 24, do minus 24, and do that actually before you create the clone. And that's glitching very severely, and I know exactly why. Okay, so make sure to change y, well, Whoops. Yeah, I think I put that somewhere I shouldn't have. Nah, it's fine. I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay, just make sure it's all like that. And change x by minus 48 there. And change it by 48 at the end of that. And that's glitchy. And instead of that, just add minus 24 into there, and the minus 24 before it. Glitching severely still. Yeah. So what is going on here? Let's just get rid of all that for now and add a new variable called original x and original y. Make these this white only. Actually, let's just make this tree a little more basic, shall we? Okay, let's just make it so I'm going to change x by 24. There. Switch costume 1, definitely. Then do minus 24. Actually, minus 48. As you can see, that's looking better. Now we'll just change y by minus 24 and repeat those scripts again. And I forgot to change that back to 24. Okay, that should all be working. Yeah, that's good. Now let's make it so it's going to go up by 24 again. As you remember, that's the height of the blocks. Literally 48 there. And change by 24 in that x position. Yeah, just make it a tree a little shorter. Okay, that'll do. And yeah, let's remove one of these. Yeah, I think that just means we'll move this part here for now. Yeah, it's going to glitch quite badly there. Okay, let's see what happens there. Seems to be working okay-ish. Change y by 24 there. Create a clone. Yeah, that's working better now. That's trees done. I think. Yeah, that seems to be a rare occurrence. I think. Maybe it's turbo motor. Make sure I was going to position correctly. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, now I've done that, let's try to add a player. So we're going to change these costumes up. I'm going to make it look a little better in the process. And we're going to create a kind of color-based collision system. Okay, That will do for demonstration. And now we're going to create kind of dots of colour that are different to the other colours in the middle of the sprite, but not at the very edge and not on top, because we're going to be detecting collisions and we don't want it to move backwards when we're detecting them. So something like that. We'll do a similar thing for this. Relatively near the edge, but not quite all the way. That'll do. So now we're going to create a player sprite. We're going to make this quite basic. You can animate it and make it look like Steve if you want. Just make sure it's in the center, and that should do. So to start off with, it's just going to go to the top of the world at x coordinate 0. It's then going to repeat until it's touching the bottom of the world. Well, sprite 1, sorry. But we don't want to use a green flag here, since if we don't have turbo mode on, you can see that there's this generation process. So we're going to create a message called generation finished. It's going to broadcast this when it's stopped generating the world. And we're going to change y by -10 until it's touching sprite 1. And this is going to be forever. Let's change it to -5 because it'd be a bit unreasonable. And then it's going to repeat until it's not touching sprite 1 to make sure it's not in the middle of the ground. And just change this by 1. But as you can see, it's now kind of glitching. So at the end of all that, change y by -1 to keep it kind of in the ground. And change y by -1 there, and just change it by 1 there. As you can see now, it's kind of constantly on top of the world. So now when we break box, it's going to fall down. So we're going to duplicate this and make it so if D is pressed, we're going to change X by 20. We're going to change X by, let's say, 5. As you can see, we're now kind of getting it falling into the floor. But do the same thing for A anyway, and change it by -5. So now we're going to make it so if this player is touching the colours we made in our costumes, so the colour we're going to make is the one we used for dirt and grass, that one. If it's touching that, it's going to change, we're going to actually put that in the A script. Actually, now let's make it so when A is pressed, we're going to set direction to -90, and when right is pressed, or D is pressed, it's going to set the direction to 90. And let's make it so it changes, well, it moves 5 steps instead on each. If it's touching that, it's going to move back 5 steps. As you can see, it's kind of hitting that now. It does kind of go up the wall slightly, but we have to well, deal with that. Also, for now we're going to make so we can jump. So when we jump, we're going to make it so, actually let's first make it so it can collide with stone properly. So to do the same kind of thing again, get that colour, and then, well, just, that'll do. So, when we jump, we're just going to go up we're going to use the up key, and duplicate this again, just repeat that by 10 times, and make sure it's like 10 to get rid of the gravity issue. Set direction to 0 this time. It's going to repeat this 10 times when W is pressed, not up. As you can see, it's glitching out a bit because of the way scratch handles directions. Let's just set this to the left and right for now. And let's make sure it goes back. It is touching the ground when we jump. And before we check, we're just going to make sure we won my position below. Because of the way we handled the collisions back then. That's working. As you can see, it's because of what we've done here with -5 steps, it's actually handling the upwards collisions as well. Sometimes. Depends on where you are, and well, it's a little glitchy, yeah. But if you want a perfect player, you're going to need to really do a tile scrolling tutorial and something like that. Or use a similar kind of method to the player I'm going to use in that tutorial. I just made this player to be as basic as I could, but still as good as I could do. Let's just make it so if it's touching that, it's not going to make it so it goes up or down when it's doing that. So just put out a script there, and that should be that done. Just make it so the player hides when we start the game. That's going to show when we start it properly. So we've got this block pointer in the corner. Now we can just do that. And it's working. You can actually adjust the kind of type, where you put these dots in order to make the player feel a little better. I won't bother for now. Yeah, that's just made that -10. I went too much glitchiness when it comes to jumping. Or actually, let's make it so if W is pressed, it's actually going to, jump. So it's going to be more kind of dependent on whether you now jump a certain height, depending on how far you want to jump. And then just add or to this not block, duplicate W again, and put it back. Yeah, it's not that great, but yeah, I guess it kind of ish do. At least we got that part of the collision marking. But yeah. Well, anyway, I think I'll leave it there. That episode, we'll fix up the issues with the player in the next one, and add a few more things.